The name of this podcast obviously has the word storytelling in it.
Yeah.
Talk about Niron and your ability as a storyteller. What do you think is important to convey as you tell the story of Niron? Who really needs to understand what you're doing? Obviously, it's a B2B company. It's obviously a highly technical sale on one hand, but obviously you're a major piece of the fabric of the local economy. Maybe you could reflect on that a little bit.
Yeah, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and it's a little bit the same for Niron when you have a startup, right? It's a child. It needs to grow. We're in our teenage years, right? It needs to become an adult. So to do that, you need the right ecosystem. And we talked about the University of Minnesota before that. That's really important for at the earlier stages of where we were. But there's a lot of Fortune 500 companies headquartered. There's a lot of talent that we've been able to pull from. That we could take that expertise and capability and start to build what we need in terms of that, right? Because in the early years for us, it was very much technical talent, but now it's really scaling talent, not just manufacturing, but we need systems, right? We're actually heavily using AI in the way that we're operating to enable us to be able to scale more quickly and more effectively. And so that ecosystem is really important to us. And it's fascinating to me that there is so many great partners here in Minnesota. Whenever we have a need, it seems we reach out and look around and we find someone that's like 15 minutes down the road that can help us, right? So I'll give you some examples. As part of our process, the front end of our process, we bake powder. In the back end, we take that powder and squish it into different shapes and sizes. So during that process, we're taking the powder and we're compressing it in a tool and die. So we need local tool and die makers that can help make our dies. And so we found local tool and die makers to do that. Then we're also working on making motors. So our magnets go into motors, and we're building motors to demonstrate our technology. And so we're partnering, with a local company that is one of the leading prototypers for motors for the U.S. Defense Department. And so it's fascinating to me whenever we look, we find part of the ecosystem here that we can plug into. And so that's really important, when you're building and growing, because you can't do everything yourself. You need to have partners that you can trust and rely on. And that's been an important part of why we've been, successful, is the ecosystem that we build and continue to build. For us to really scale now, we need more partners, right? So we announced that we're working with Ryan. They're a big local headquartered builder here, nationally recognized builder. They're helping us with our first manufacturing plan. We're working with a big engineering firm called Wood. They're our EPC company. And so as we build here, you need to plug into those other resources that can help you successfully scale and grow.